Hi guys, my name is Nonema Digela. Welcome to my YouTube channel. So today I want us to talk about the repeated praise of Gininda from Judge Ratha. Hi guys, it can't be normal. The judge's repeated praise of Gininda cannot be normal. Before we talk about that, guys, please let's make sure to like, to share, to comment, and most importantly, please make sure you are subscribed on the channel. Please make sure you are watching the videos up until the end and you are watching the ads that are coming through. When you are doing that, you will be supporting this channel financially and in numbers. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. Now, when you are the Senzo Meyiwa supporter when you support the Senzo Meyiwa case in terms of streaming it live or catching up on it, go on Twitter to check what other people say, tweet about it on Facebook about it on TikTok. Make conversation and also be on that YouTube channel of SAPC where the conversations happen, comment there. And on we also on YouTube on these streets of our channels where there's a lot of us that are talking about this this Senzo Meyiwa case. But something very strange is happening in that courtroom. It's very strange in a sense that Judge Ratha refuses to sue Gininda for who he is. It's either he refuses or he's hell-bent on making him a saint. I don't know if I'm making sense, because there is no way, guys. There is absolutely no way that he can continuously be telling us, Gininda this, Gininda that, Gininda this. After everything that has been said about Gananda, he's still busy saying he's a counsel, he's a senior police office. Say, after everything that was said, Komadlanga Commission, Gamapoisa, and this man still praises Gininda. No, everything that has police, as much as guys, I don't even understand. Even people in South Africa, we even question a lot of Nhlanhla Mkhwanasi. A lot. We will question why this happened until we get full explanation of what was happening. Do you understand? Until he comes out and say, no, on this situation, this and this happened. An entire general that we love so much, we question him. And then he comes and explains, and Judge Ratha is busy about a dodgy cop, because he will be a dodgy cop if there is always something about his name and dodgy dealings. Dodgy dealings in terms of how he gets his so-called confessions and statements from people. Judge Ratha, he is still busy praising the man. This is so weird in so many levels, guys. And it is not just casual praise. It is judicial elevation of state witness, because why? Why, Sana? Anyway, let's break it down, Sana, because wow. Oh, wow. Maybe clinically, legally, and strategically. Let's get into it, because I don't understand. Number one, the pattern that I've noticed is real, right? Throughout the trial, the judge consistently highlighted Gininda's experience, emphasized his senior position, shielded him from tough questioning, added explanation on his behalf, intervened to protect his image. This alone is unusual, but it becomes even more alarming when placed in the context of credibility findings, because he gives Gininda way too much credibility than he deserves, Judge Ratha. Secondly, he will go in that courtroom like to the defense lawyers when they are annoyed of Gininda and his long form explanations. He will be like, no, let him explain. There is a let him explain habit in that courtroom, and now he wants to bring him back. Sure. I'm telling you, let him explain. Even when counsel didn't ask for elaboration, the judge would jump in with, let him explain. He is an experienced investigator. He will clarify, as if everybody else is stupid. There are things that they don't need so much clarification. You say 1 point or two, people get what you are saying. But Gininda, because of who he is, he will go on and go from Cape to Cairo, trying to understand and still come up with nothing from that damn explanation. In a criminal trial, the judge is not a witness, not the state co-counsel, and not Gininda's PR team. Yet the interventions repeatedly painted Gininda as the authority in that courtroom of Judge Ratha. The third thing that do you remember during the trial, within a trial, do you remember that? There was a comment that was a massive red flag there. Yo, Bafetu, there was a comment that was I get so much like, wow, shocked when it comes to Judge Ratha and what, yo, I son. So what I notice is that Judge Ratha believes so much in Gininda. He believes so much in Gininda. And any into that we have to know is that your phrase is accurate in tone and meaning. The judge essentially argued that this is a respected senior officer. Are you saying he would lie under oath? Say, what you mean? That is not a neutral stance. He is a premature credibility ruling. That was a premature credibility ruling long before final arguments. That's what Judge Ratha does when it comes to Gininda. And Baloyi, by the way. But right now we are talking about Gininda. In any trial, especially a murder trial, credibility assessments must be reserved for the end, not stated mid-proceedings. When a judge says this man handles all cold cases, he is respected, he wouldn't risk his job by lying. This is exactly the kind of judicial bias appellate court dislike. A judge may not elevate a witness in inherently truthful, suggest the defense version is impossible, accuse the accused indirectly, confer authority status on a state witness, build a trustworthiness profile from rank or job title. Yes, that is precisely what Judge Ratha does when it comes to Gininda. He does exactly that in real time, guys. And that is, I'm sure, that is legally problematic. Because I don't think what I've picked up or anyone else have picked up is not aligned with several constitutional principles. I don't think so. I think it is aligned because Judge Ratha guys, no ways. Absolutely not. Firstly, judicial neutrality was compromised. Once a judge praises a witness' character and reliability, he signals whose version he prefers prematurely. Secondly, it undermines cross-examination. If the court signals that a witness is too senior to lie, that interferes with the defense core constitutional rights, the right to challenge the evidence against them. Thirdly, it creates an appearance of bias. Even if unintentional, the appearance alone is true, is also grounds for an appeal. It appearing as if you are being biased alone, that one is grounds for appeal. Fourthly, it affects the fair trial standard. Under Section 35 of the Constitution and case law, like S versus Basson, a judge must avoid citing, rescuing, bolstering state witnesses, even the appearance of helping Gininda is a breach. Number 5, the judge has now made it worse. The credibility finding that I am talking about, Gininda, saying Gininda is too senior to allow torture, is the culmination of a pattern that began much earlier. It suggests the judge believes Gininda, therefore the accused must be lying. Therefore, the state's narrative is correct. This is not adjudication, this is alignment. There is no way that Judge Ratha can say anything wrong with Gininda, guys. He believes in him. I don't think I'm wrong when it comes to what I was interpreting about Gininda. My interpretation of what is happening, I don't think it's wrong. And my research, my legal research that I did, because I researched about this video before I did this video, where does this lead? What does this mean about these things? So I think I've summed it up perfectly. It may not be word for word, but the context is exactly that. Exactly. And the context is what matters. And the context is this. The judge repeatedly defended, protected, and elevated Gininda publicly, loudly, and unnecessarily. That has huge implications for appeal grounds. I don't know if you got that. Anyway, guys, I will see you on our next video. Please make sure you don't forget to like, to share, to comment, and most importantly, drop your comments in our comment section so that we can have a discussion about this. What do you think about these praises that Judge Rata is always doing for Gininda or to Gininda? I'll see you on our next video. Bye.